Never trust a skinny food blogger.
Never. Never,
How's
never.
that?
That's great.
That's right, right?
Yeah.
I nailed it. Nailed it. So Thick Eats. That's your show. That's your
me.
program,
Yes,
right?
Sir.
How do you not trust that name?
You have to trust it.
If you're coming across, if you're looking up food blog and stuff like that, and you see Thick Eats,
Yeah.
how do you not?
You
hit
don't
that?
go to Thin Eats.
No, you don't go to the skinny
no.
guy tried this once.
Yeah.
You got to go to Thick Eats, right?
Absolutely.
Tell us about yourself, my man.
I love it.
Talk to us, bro.
So I am Anthony. I'm the main part of Thick Eats. I started in 2020, just like everybody started everything. I picked up their hobby.
That word.
Yeah, just
The word. The
vid.
the what? The
COVID.
COVID.
The vid.
Yeah.
The COVID. Okay, got you started good.
Man.
It was good for a lot of things.
Yeah, just it brought things and it took things down. But for me, I would always get asked like you know where to eat. Why not make a page? I'm like, why not? So then I just kind of fell into that, and I would see restaurants that I personally enjoyed struggling, and I was like, you know what? Maybe they need more spotlight than just Yelp, Google, and like other people that are just TikToking and doing whatnot. I'm like, let me try and like sit in front of a camera and do it myself. So that's just kind of how it sprouted, and just now it is what it is now.
Now you're doing it for fun,
Yeah,
and
it's
you've built a passion for what it is you have.
Absolutely.
Now, the reason I like dealing with him and working with him is because, as you know, as a chef, everybody wants to make content, okay? And everybody who doesn't have the skill of cooking or doesn't necessarily cook, they still want to go make the content. They want to have something exciting. So what do you do to get content exciting? It may not be so much you who's exciting. It may be the content you're using to make the creation, right?
Absolutely.
So a lot of people, a lot of food bloggers, a lot of food writers now currently with the way social media is going will go around to the hottest spots in town because it guarantees them a story. It guarantees them a follow. It guarantees them this. It guarantees them that. So there's two type of bloggers in my style here, in my vision.
Yeah.
Right. There's the type that does exactly what I just said. They'll start out their show with, here I am, I'm walking in this place, and now we all know it's going to be dope. I'm expecting this, and da-da-da, and they go off of the image and the actual how the vibe that's already been put out there. So, of course, everyone who watches it's going to like it because everyone goes to it, and they all know it, and that's easy.
Fairly popular.
Then you have the other type of blogger who goes into the restaurant, doesn't really brag about the restaurant as much as they are there to talk about the fucking food.
Yeah.
And that's the one that I enjoy. Typically, those people I get along with a little bit more, but I understand and I respect everybody's point of view. I understand why the other people are doing it for the hospitality entertainment version of everything, but then I also get along better with the people who are going to the food because that's where my heart and passion lie.
Absolutely.
So you come from the restaurant industry background.
I do.
So why don't you touch on that a little bit, because that's a key component to
Yeah.
what I'm about to say.
Okay.
So my family came into the States back in the 80s and opened up a Mediterranean restaurant. That was unheard of in the first place. This is where Virginia was just nothing but grass. Town center wasn't a thing.
And where was that? Where are they from?
We're originally from Lebanon.
So Lebanon is a amazing
Oh, yeah. I love
Mediterranean
Lebanese
cuisine
food.
because they have the influences of all of them, from Turkey all the way down to Greece to
everywhere. Just
everywhere.
Beautiful food.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's great food. It's filling and it's good for you.
Yeah.
A lot of doctors say Mediterranean diet.
Sure, the
best.
Mediterranean
It's the best.
is that waterway is a production for all the best ingredients to me that exist on this planet.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
So they came here in the 80s on a whim. My grandparents were coming from Boston, and their idea was, all right, let's go look for opportunity in Florida. They stopped in New York. Somebody broke in their car. They messed with the ignition, and basically anyone that's Lebanese, we always have a knife in our car just to cut fruit. Not for any protection at all, just to cut some fruit, hand it to the driver,
Didn't
and
know
hand it
that.
around. And so my grandma gave my grandpa the knife. They basically fixed the ignition somehow to get the car to keep going. They kept driving, and it broke down in Virginia. It would take 2 weeks to get the parts. Happened to be a Lebanese mechanic. He's like, I'm not going to get these parts for another 2 weeks. My grandma got antsy, and she just bought a house here. And then she was like, we're moving here instead. So then we just popped up.
That'll work.
Typical.
Out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
she goes back to Boston and tells her kids, she's like, hey, we're moving to Virginia. I was like, what's in Virginia? I'm like, well, now it's your home. So we started a small shop right near Cleveland Street, just had takeout. Part of the building had burned, and then we ended up finding our home, and we've been there for 37 years.
And what's the name of that?
Azar's Mediterranean Specialties.
Which is,
Perfect.
if you don't know Azar's in this area,
Yeah.
It's kind of hard not to.
It's
Kind of hard
crazy,
not
you
to
know?
at this
Crazy,
point.
yeah, it's crazy.
So we've been here for a long time, and we're still rocking.
So you're right. Now let's go back to that. Now we're talking about the genres, not the genres, but the timelines of genres, right? So back in the 80s, Mediterranean food wasn't even really accepted without being specific. The word Mediterranean restaurant wasn't really that big of a thing. It was a Lebanese restaurant, a Greek restaurant, an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
The infusion of the word making a Mediterranean restaurant wasn't really a thing yet.
Yeah.
So is that how they started with that term, Mediterranean?
Yeah,
Or did
because
that
I mean,
morph
at the
into that?
time, there's nobody that's like, oh, we have Lebanese food, we have falafel, we have za'atar. We have
They
all
wouldn't
this stuff.
understand that,
They're like,
right?
I don't know what
what's
that
this
is.
foreign
yeah.
stuff you're eating? You know,
Yeah.
like
So as a
bringing
way
stuff
of
like that.
marketing, they kind of invented
Yeah,
that. So it's how
specialties.
can we get people in here because no one understands what Lebanese food is, which is rightfully so. Why would a lot of people who've never
Absolutely.
been to Lebanon understand that? They don't understand that. Actually, a lot of people, I don't think, when they think of Lebanon, they don't understand that it is Mediterranean-based diet. I don't think they understand
Yeah, we're
the
literally
grape
at the
leaves, the
end of it.
dolmas, all that stuff
Everything.
is huge there,
Yeah.
and it's some of the best things on
Which
the
is the
planet.
best,
You know,
yeah.
oh, it's the best. I'm getting hungry right now.
I
should
know.
have brought some.
We're all ready for
Yeah, I
lunch.
know.
so.
That's what I forgot. I had to bring the shirts at least.
The shirts were wonderful, by the way. But so going back to what it is, you have restaurant background. You grew up in a restaurant. You know how to cook. You know how to present. You understand what it takes for the cooks, the chefs, and everybody else putting the food together to put it on the plate, to put it on the table. Therefore, giving your content value to me, because now someone who has an idea of what they're talking about is blogging about what I'm doing. So I have a little bit more of a.
Respect, maybe?
I don't know if it's, I don't disrespect anybody.
Yeah.
But I have a little bit more of a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm attracted.
Appreciation?
Attraction.
Yeah.
You know, and I appreciate it. So, first time I met you, we were working out in the same gym. This was years ago.
Yeah, COVID.
COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
During COVID. Fucking word. I hate that word.
Fuck you, COVID.
But
It's not real anymore.
yeah, I hate it. So anyway, it's that from then to now. Then you went into my original restaurant, Luce in Norfolk, which is
Yes.
downtown. You came in there, you did a little spot, you enjoyed the stuff. It was great. I enjoyed your company, and then I've watched you grow. Right. So, how have you grown? What is it? The question I'm going to ask here is pretty obvious to me. How did you educate yourself in the growth to be able to continue doing what you're doing? That's number one, if you can remember that. And number two, social media right now, as we all know, is drenched. It's overwhelmed. It's just flooded. Whereas COVID time, it was just starting to get flooded because no one had anything else to do. So back then, it was much easier to grow. Much more followers quicker. Your algorithms were out there much more. It went out. Then it just becomes so saturated.
Not as much pay to play. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's not pay to play, and people like us who are putting out a very high-end production are
Yeah.
even having a harder time growing than we would have if we would have done this production 10 years ago. We would have been.
Oh, it would have
we
already been
international
hundreds of
infamous.
thousands of people. Yeah.
So with that being said, like us, my reward as a chef is people coming into my restaurant. That shows the day. If I don't have people coming in, we don't pay the bills, we're in trouble. If we have a lot of people coming in, we're able to expand and do better and make more. So I have a physical reward, right? Now, when we go to our social media platforms, our podcasts, our YouTubes, and all that stuff, and you look at the growth of that for the same amount of time, passion, and effort,
Yeah.
the growth is not there anymore. So
It's not the same.
what keeps you keeps your drive to do it? Because you do it with ease and you do it with vigor and you really put a lot of effort into it. But I notice, like you notice, because I want to see you succeed because you're really good at this. So you have a great knack for it. But your followings aren't going as much. So that's got to be a little bit depressing and sometimes takes the wind out of our sails, right? What is it about this industry that keeps you going in this field?
I still try and keep true, and I do keep true to what I'm originally started with. Is my whole purpose is to help restaurants in any way, shape, or form, or even just, if you had no clue about this place, that's a hole in the wall. Now you know, and hopefully they'll get more business. But I think the majority of why I keep doing it is because I just want to stick with that, and I want to keep it that way. And seeing like other people that have like 100,000 followers, like that's cool, great. Congratulations.
But
and
it's
I'll never
cool,
have
but
it.
it's not because some of their stuff is garbage, and I don't like looking at it, and it
No,
sucks that I
absolutely.
have to even, the effortless momentum that they got somewhere along the line.
Well, a lot of it is paid. So we do have to
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at that. I mean, I
Just
can look at an
timing.
Instagram account and tell you in
Yeah,
about 5
yeah,
minutes whether
yeah.
it's 50% bots or not. I mean, we
Definitely.
can tell. But yours has grown since that time. Did you know anything about social media going into it? Were you doing it for the restaurant or anything for your family?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't involved in the social media with my family's restaurant. I was back at house. I was
Okay.
production, cooking, and just trying to help the caterings. But
So when you kind of learned as you went along.
yeah, it was just pretty much a learning curve. Like, I'm a young guy. I knew Instagram and how things work.
Yeah.
The right hashtags, the right time, and whatnot,
Yeah.
but nothing in depth. And I kind of just went on a whim, and I was like, what, I'm going to put a post and just try it this way and just do it.
And just like a cell phone and that was it?
I start off with my phone, and I would come in with a little gimbal, and I'd sit there with my mic that's connected under my shirt that goes all the way through because I didn't have it wireless
Yeah.
yet. And to now where I have a great team with Vatic Agency. They help me out
Awesome.
with a great production. So I think that's what really sets me apart between everybody else is that I'm in front of the camera. It's not like I'm just, going through here and I'm trying to do it in one take. I don't want to cut it up as much. And
one
I'm trying
take
to
means
keep
more original, more organic.
more
Yeah.
organic.
If
yeah.
you're going to fuck up a little bit, you're going to stubble your
Absolutely.
words a little bit.
It's
real,
But that's what
yeah.
makes it real.
Yeah.
And I think people are tired of the bullshit. And that's why we like this show, because we say whatever we want on the show.
Yeah.
And we talk about the restaurant industry, the cooking, the strife, the trials and tribulations. We also bring in other guests, too, that are all based around food in one way, shape, or form.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the social aspect has changed a lot.
Drastically.
And so have you monetized in your process of doing it, like as far as sponsors or, you know, do you work with restaurants? Because the thing that I think most restaurant owners are, and he's bitched about that before, is people that just come in just to get a free meal out of
Yeah,
it. Like
the
that's really a
influencers.
lot of the food influencers. They just
you know-
expect you to give them free shit.
Absolutely.
And they have no say whether it's good or not because they have no knowledge. So how have you worked that into more like of a business, I guess?
So in the beginning, I was just paying for it myself. I was like, I'm gonna go in there, but I had a problem of like, all right, I'm spending like $150 every time I go
Every
because I'm
meal.
like, I need to try an appetizer or two. I need to try this. I'm not gonna try one thing. I'm like, oh, this is a good place. Like, you need to try for everything. But now it gets to the point where I'll go and vet the restaurant. I'll just go. I won't say anything. I'll try the restaurant myself. Kind of, you know, thumbs up, thumbs down if I want to highlight, and then approach the restaurant saying, hey, like we'd love to come in and do a free video. And you know, the only thing we ask is just for you to comp the meal. That's pretty much it. So
Okay.
that's how it kind of works for me.
Yeah,
now.
so you started to build, but again, it
Yeah.
was relationships. You didn't go in
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
expecting like
No, and
yeah.
that's the thing is like I'm trying to help and I can support.
You're giving them advertising and new eyeballs.
Absolutely.
Which is amazing. So I think that's the part that we talked about it. We've said that even with our previous guest.
Sure.
Purpose. You have a purpose for doing it. You're trying to actually help those restaurants get real
and that-
customers, not shitty customers.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
Real
that matters.
customers.
And you know, moving into what you were just saying a minute ago, and then what I was saying before, when it comes to the food blogging in restaurants, don't come in as fucking restaurant if you think you're doing me favors, unless you have something to offer. Because I know one thing, I am going to do you a favor. It's tried and true. I'm not making this. I'm very humbled about it, but I know the work and effort my team
Yeah.
puts into this place and what we have to do to make what we happen is a product. We have something to talk about. And that's what I focus on daily. So I'm proud to say that because it's what we're looking for. That's what we're aiming for. Yeah. So if people come into the restaurant wanting to gain follows and likes and that, it's going to be very hard for me to just agree to everybody that walks in here.
Absolutely.
Because I know one thing, you're going to get some content. But it doesn't mean I'm going to get my $300 out of it. What does that mean for me?
Yeah.
I mean, they're liking you for being here. They're not liking me
Yeah.
because you are here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's that's where we're up against the wall here.
Yeah.
So you have to really pick and choose the bloggers. Like I said, I like working with you because you're very humble. You have you come in and you pay for your food. And when time works out and things work out, it's going to benefit us both. Trust me when I tell you.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So many people come in, and I don't think you realize this. We have people that literally come in here telling the waitresses that they should have free appetizers or drinks because they're influencers.
Yeah.
And I'm,
all the
who
time.
the hell
like,
are you? Like I said,
well, we
this
always
before.
say, I know the owner. I'm
yeah.
like, who the fuck doesn't know the owner at this
I don't even
point?
know the owner.
You don't know the
I'm
owner.
the owner. I don't even know myself.
so
I wake up in the morning. Who the hell am I?
Well,
I
this
don't-
is
you know what I mean?
this is a funny part because I think based on audience, so you've taken a long time to curate that, and it's been organic, which is totally different. But we've dealt with because another place when we had influencers come in to help build it as an opening process. One of them, their following is not a high quality following. So in turn, for all of that spent trying to say, okay, push my restaurant, the clientele that came in was not the clientele for that restaurant. So I think that people they oversell themselves and they
Absolutely.
don't have that background.
Yeah.
So you're actually going in beforehand to see if it fits you.
Yeah, because I don't. At the end of the day, I don't want to lie to anybody. I want to tell the truth about the restaurant. If I don't
Yeah.
like it, I'm not going to do a recording.
That's my question.
You're not going to come back and get paid. Like you're not going to sell
There's been
out.
opportunity, and I want to stay true to not selling out.
Good.
You know,
That's
if someone's going to
amazing.
pay me, $1,000 to do a video, I'm like, I don't even like this restaurant. Why am I doing this in the first place? And now I'm going to have an audience of people that are going to be like, can we trust what he's saying now?
Exactly. That's right. It's not
That's
worth
your
the money.
credibility.
Yeah, it's not.
So if you want to sell out, be ready to sell because that's what's going to happen.
And there are
You're gonna
people
sell.
who do it. I mean, they
Sure.
charge a lot of money to come in, do a review, do not even a full production, really, for some of the prices they're
On the phone.
charging.
You-
It's their
Everybody's on
cell
the phone
phone.
now. Yeah,
But
that's
if you
it.
stay
Yeah.
true to yourself, you can monetize that
Yeah.
because there's a market for everything, and there's a market out there for truth, and there's a market out there for real. You know what I'm saying? Not the bullshit, glamour, and the glitz. I understand all that, and who doesn't want to be able to do what they love and can get paid for it?
Yeah, of course.
That's not what we're talking about. I'm not saying do this for free forever, but I think it's important you really stay true. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I try and do here, and even talking on this damn thing, I want to make sure I stay true. You know what I mean?
We're building this for the long term. Like,
Yeah.
much like we're
Absolutely.
not
It's
trying to
great.
build it for, like one season and get, some decent shit out of it. Like, this is a long term commitment to the industry itself to actually show what's going on.
and have your stake in that because
Yes.
Right.
it's
It's
only
a
gonna
commitment
grow.
to the industry, just
Yeah.
like she said. That's perfectly said.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we want to do. I've lived off this industry. This industry pays me. It pays my team, everybody around me, everyone in this fucking room right now.
It bought me
in this room
houses.
right now is being paid from this industry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're all here right now doing it.
Yeah.
So it's very important to understand that. Now, let's go back. So there's a difference between a food blogger and a food critic. And I don't think a lot of people understand what they were because they haven't lived through both of them. Food
old
critic,
school critic,
old food
yes.
critic. I've been in the industry for 30 years. I've been critiqued. Both levels. Mostly good, but some bad. And the bad ones, some food critics back in the day, the big name ones, the New York City ones, the Zagat ones, all these people who really worked for big
God,
big
who remembers
programs.
Zagat? That was, God,
Yeah,
you're bringing
the
out.
New York
logos of
Times,
kids.
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Boston
my
Herald,
gosh.
all these people that would be in these things. And I'm not going to mention names. They're probably not even alive, some of them now, or they're not even around. It's worth
Probably
talking
not.
about. And fuck them anyway, because a lot of them ruin people's lives. But there was a time where the critic was nasty, and they got more recognition off of the shit they would talk than they did off of the actual respectful critiquing they actually should have
Like
done.
Simon Cowell kind of effect.
Yeah, in a sense.
Shock
and they
and
would
awe.
walk around
Yeah.
all pretentious, and they would go in and they would literally destroy a chef's life because it's one of their, something they didn't like didn't have enough salt for their liking, and it ruined everything. So they just tore the place up. Now, how hard is it for that? Now I'm noticing that you don't see that anymore. I don't care if it's in a newspaper. I don't care if it's a critic. I don't care about anything. They just say, we'll give them, instead of 3 stars, we'll give them 2. But everything was good, but they don't really go into why. So when you come across a place and you go in it and it's not like you thought, you have a decision to make. You're either going to roast this fucking place in a sense or be real with it, or just kind of leave it the fuck alone and not destroy these people.
Yeah.
Where are you at with it?
I'm not here to ruin anyone's life, but if it's working for them in some sense and they're happy with their 2.5 stars, by all means. But if someone says, hey, it might say 2.5 stars, the service might be shitty, but the food is 5 stars, I'll go in and check it out myself. But there might be a point in time where I'm like, I did have a 2.5 star, or 1 star of service, but like, man, the food's good, but it's not worth, And I'm not the person to kind of rip into somebody online. That's not me. At the end of the day, like, they have their own.
So
problems.
you just find yourself backing off it, not even going through with it?
No, and if it's like a friend asked me, like, I wasn't a big fan of it, not really for
Yeah.
me, but I'm not gonna blast anybody on social media. That's
Yeah,
really
that's-
not what I
It's not.
started
It's
off.
going against what you want to do. You
Yeah,
want to help
exactly.
people. You want to promote.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's a good attitude to have. So I'm seeing that a lot of the critiquing has gone away. Now that's good.
Yeah,
It's
or if
good.
you have a critic who actually has credentials, like that was the problem.
That's
Anybody who can
that's
have
what-
a
and
pen
Anyone
can
has
be a
phone,
critic.
or even Yelp. At the end of the day, like, people
Yeah.
read Yelp and they're like 2.5 stars. Like, you'll see like all these 5-star reviews,
Oh, we-
and then
yeah.
I mean, you're in the restaurant.
read
business.
Oh, bro, I can fucking read them for fun. You know what I mean?
And it's sad because, like, you could even respond to them and say, come back in, like, let's fix it. They won't
They'll
respond to
still
anything.
be assholes.
Yeah.
A lot of
Exactly.
people on Yelp are bitching because something didn't go their way, and it necessarily didn't mean what they were bitching about. And I tell my team all the time, it starts at the door. Hospitality is very, very important. And when you walk in that door, and if they feel slighted in any way, disrespected or something, that's when it all goes to hell. As soon as you were disrespected or you felt you were disrespected, your steak tastes like shit, the pasta was overcooked, the wait staff left you alone, your fucking table next to you got their food first, you were there second, da.
Yeah.
It all starts right there. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of these Yelp critiques or these TripAdvisors, it's an open format for
Well, there's
people.
no regulation at all. There's
Not at
no
all.
regulation.
No, there's no
So it's
regulation.
like,
So
okay.
people can just go,
Wild,
and it
Wild
becomes
West.
a bitching session.
Yeah.
And they want to just vent because they're so mad that the trumpets weren't out and the red carpet had a wrinkle in it when they were supposed to be fucking treated that way.
Yeah.
And it, like I said, it starts at the front door. And typically when a blogger comes in, they get treated right. But how many times do you go in a place and you say this, you're doing this, and the people give you some sort of shunned attitude? Does that happen? Like, oh God, here we go.
I think early on, like, I mean, I barely had any following, and they're just like, all right, cool, like, good for you, like, you're on social media and whatnot. I'm like, all right,
Eat a taco,
well, yeah.
thick. We got thick guy.
Exactly. Oh, like, it's just really early on, but now it's like to the point where I really don't have that backlash. Like, it's more like welcoming. They'll see my page and it's like, I'm trying to do what I can to help you, you know, because I either see you struggling or you're a great restaurant. I feel like you're not getting the most out of it. But that really early on is when it happened.
So he came in not too long, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen this blog. I'm being nice. I haven't even seen what he had to say yet.
Oh, from here?
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Nuh-uh.
Oh,
So it's a part
now
of
we
the
gotta watch
highlight.
it.
It's part of the happy hour highlight. That I'm
That's right.
doing.
Happy hour highlight.
All right, now
Very
we gotta.
cool.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what.
we gotta
I
watch
mean,
that.
So like you said, from the door, I mean, I'm not the kind of person that's like, all right, the service is gonna be shitty because this, and like the food's gonna be shitty, but great service overall, and I loved coming in here, and you know, you even seeing me in the first place, like, I didn't want any special treatment. If I could go incognito and just go sit in the corner and eat and then leave, I would do that. But I mean, I'm hard to miss. So.
Well, not only that, but I have a high respect for people I
stand
enjoy
out.
being around. My friends, I'm big into the hospitality business of it all anyway. And when I know you and I know what you're doing and your passion, I know your true heart in this because we've talked about it for years.
Yeah.
So I see you growing in it, and I see you just taking your time with it. And that's impressive because that's how it goes. When you're going to make a good blog, I guess is that what I'm calling it, a blog? Is
Blog page, it's all the same.
Well, when you're doing a specific one, it's per blog, right? So when you're going to look for the perfect content or what to you justifies a perfect meal? What are you looking for to really be like, okay, I don't want to give it a 7 because it's not. When it's like, man, this is really good. What are you looking for to get that perfect fucking blog?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What gets your goat, man?
I would say it has to be just like the quality of ingredients that are going into it in the first place. Like knowing that they're getting it local, or you know, anywhere like in the States, or you know, nothing like. I try, you know, it's hard to not get anything farmed nowadays, but just the quality and the atmosphere. I think it's just mostly the atmosphere and just having the hostess and the server checking on you and like asking questions and really trying to help you through like the menu if you have any questions, or you know, the ingredients, or things like that is really what it's,
So I guess what I'm getting at more is if you had a burger, right? You're going to get let's just say you're going to get a burger. You get the regular burger. It's a nice chuck ground, really nicely done, almost on the smash level. It's got that nice fatty taste to it, right? Everything's good, perfect, beautiful. You eat that burger, it's good. This is a good freaking burger, right? That's up my alley. Then you go to another burger place that's well known, right? And this burger has the 80-20 or the 50-50, and it's got the Gruyere cheese on it and the caramelized onions. And now there's a difference now all of a sudden between that burger and that burger.
Yeah.
So how do you justify, like, you eat it and you're like, this is good, and then you eat that one, this is good. Well, there's a lot difference in those two burgers, and you got to bring that without overselling one before the other. Does you have to take that into play, or is that just me?
That's, I mean, just like highlighting like what's, you know, like they're using a sesame bun compared to like a brioche, or like you said, like an 80-20 or 50, or you know, 50-50, or they're using American cheese, or they're using provolone. Like just trying to highlight, like, all right, this is how they're cooking. They're doing a smash, but these guys are actually just doing like a regular burger.
That umami flavors, and
Yeah.
there's got to be something that when you eat it brings you back, like on the
I think
like
it's
on
differentiating.
Ratatouille when
Yeah.
Homeboy ate the Ratatouille.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Something brings you back, right?
Yeah, it's just, I think the traditional thought of like growing up as, you know, a kid having American cheese, tomatoes, lettuce, onions,
Classic.
pickle, you know, mayo,
Yeah.
mustard, ketchup.
That's it. To me, that's the burger.
Yeah.
The
Classic
burger. I need a
burger.
nice
I know.
burger with a nice bun and freaking mustard, ketchup,
It's got a
pickles,
mix. It's just
Yep.
everything. The
onions,
crunch, the
tomato,
flavor,
lettuce.
everything.
Boom.
I don't know how
4th
many
of July.
burgers. How many burgers do I eat a week? At least
Oh,
3.
at least.
That's like my main meal.
Probably.
And it's so sad.
Yeah.
People don't
Nothing
like
wrong with
burgers
it.
and French fries, and a margarita is my
Nothing wrong with
probably
that.
one of my perfect meals. And
dinner,
everywhere I
last meal,
travel,
right?
well, they can't fuck it up as bad. So if I travel,
bad.
I know
I
that's
mean,
always going to be good. Like
yeah.
if you don't know a restaurant, I'm like, okay, you really only fuck up a burger so much by overcooking it. Like at least
Yeah.
it's going to be decent.
The ketchup will be good.
So the ketchup will smother it all. It'll
Right.
be fine. So it's, you know, I've definitely, but I honestly, I don't think people realize how much I eat cheeseburgers a week. Like it's so sad.
So, do you do any collaborations with any chefs? Do you get back in the kitchen at all? Are you working in the kitchens anymore? Or are you kind of focusing on?
I'm
part
kind of
the house?
outside of the kitchen more. This is more of my side of what I'm doing. I would do IT for the Navy, so I'm very much involved in that. So it kind of took me away from being more in the restaurant. But I help with events. Like my family, the restaurant's near a gym, so we help them with like one of their food vendors, or thinking about going to the farmers market and providing food there as well.
Okay.
But I'm mainly outside of it now. I was doing production, but I'm just mostly out of it now. But
Yeah.
I'll help when I can.
Yeah. I think he's trying to challenge you to a cook-off type thing.
No, not at all. what I wanted to do was actually collaborate and do something
Yeah.
together.
Absolutely.
Because I love the Mediterranean. I love Lebanese food. There's so much things I like to do, and I'm always looking for people to do something in film to bring out to the public.
Yeah, absolutely.
To teach them little things here and there. And while you show me a method of something that your family does, it doesn't have to be this big elaborate chef method because I got that technique down.
Yeah.
But the wholesome family traditional thing that as you're teaching me, we can show them. Those are the things I like doing with chefs, cooks, people in the industry. And that showcases your knowledge and your skill,
absolutely.
so people watch your show and they trust you know about food. And that's very important, is to have product knowledge. You know, food blogging, I'm up and down on it. I think it's necessary. I think it's a respectable thing. People have a lot of fun with it. So I guess there's a difference between food blogging and venue blogging. And I think that's where the translation gets lost sometimes. And the venue blogging to me,
is it IG worthy, Insta worthy?
It's lost in the hype sometimes. It's like, oh, this place just opened up. Like, let's just go flood it.
Just to
There's
do
15 other people that are doing it. And so all day you're swiping, and it's like, all right, same thing,
Right.
different format, same person. I mean, different person, same place. So it's like, what are they getting out of it? And at the same time, it's the same content.
what makes me feel really good, besides the blogs, what makes me feel really good is when I'm scrolling through Instagram or Facebook at any level, and I'm seeing people that either I follow or they follow me, or it's just on the feed somehow of them taking a picture up against the mural celebrating their birthday. Tagging Luce Secundo or Luce Norfolk because they're there with their family or they're celebrating something. And that to me, randomly and so organically as I'm reading, see that and I scroll, that makes me instantly feel good that they're sharing a part of their life. That to me means anything more than any food blogger or anything can do, because that right there is the real deal. That's the real verdict right there. That really makes me feel good. But when you do your work, you do it with a passion. You're very humble in it. You're really just looking at the food for what it is, man. And you're going from a white tablecloth place to basically a bowling alley sometimes, in a sense.
Yeah.
Not so much.
I don't discriminate. I just go wherever.
You
Wherever
go
you
wherever
think
it's good.
it's
I've
good.
seen you. I think I've seen you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen you do things as easy as like taco-y, chicken tendery type stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
bar food. You know what I mean? Maybe not that.
Almost dive-ish. Like I'll go to a
Dive-ish,
dive bar.
dive
I
no
love a
problem.
good dive bar is always
Exactly,
great.
yeah,
Like you
so-
have to have
Dude,
it.
dive bar meatloaf.
Oh yeah,
Kidding me?
Get that.
Get down.
Chicken
Get
tenders,
down.
fish and chips. I don't know,
Skylar,
just
get
some
down with
crazy stuff. Well, this came in my head, which I think, I don't know if this is even a term, but I think that yours, when it falls on that line of like influence, it's ethical blogging.
That's a really good way to put it.
So you are an ethical blogger. Like you actually
I like the way
have.
that
I
sounds,
know.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if
You
that's
just
out
came
there.
up with something.
Skylar, check the hashtag,
There
see
you
if
go.
it's popular.
Ethical blogger.
Ethical blogger. Like
what
I
we
think
do.
that because
Yep.
again, we look at so many trends in the industry and people we got flooded, COVID, everybody came online. Like again, you saw all these online coaches and life coaches and courses and all these people
Sure.
got certified in things that, I mean, you have no fucking right. Your life's a mess. Stop being a life coach. You can't pay your rent.
Exactly.
And we ended up with that differentiator of it. So it was like, okay, we can go one way or the other with the blog side. And because so we have now, even in food, like ethical farming, or there's different, so we're going to call you an ethical blogger.
There we go. I
Sure.
like that.
I like that.
and
Is
the
it,
good-
how many follows does hashtag ethical blogger have on the gram?
I googled it. It says involves following principles of honest fairness and transparency.
Okay.
They made
Involves
that-
principles of honest
That's
transparency.
That's
The AI.
AI.
Yeah,
that's
the AI answer that we got from Google.
that didn't
Thanks,
happen.
Google.
That's funny.
Yeah, thanks, Google
So,
AI.
so the best part
put
about
together.
the internet and the stuff that she's talking about is that it gives, and not enough chefs are doing it. For every blogger and every reviewer, there's a chef or a manager or a maitre d' that has the same exact opportunity to respond back, and they don't. So I don't understand why. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand
he
why.
responds a lot.
I respond a lot.
Anybody wants to be entertained, just go to the Google reviews and read the responses.
And that's good. You should do that because, like Yelp is a nightmare, right?
That's not that many.
So-
Okay, so it's a low level hashtag, so
We'll get
it
it-
still
we'll get
has
it up
not
there.
caught traction. So we're
We'll
gonna
get it
give
up
that
there.
to you.
Yeah,
That is
absolutely. I
now your
appreciate that.
title in
Yeah,
this
I
area,
appreciate that.
and we are gonna see when it jumps up from 55,000 uses to millions. Then we know we've
Yep,
made it. Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right here.
We're
right
starting
now,
it right here on the show.
757
Ethic-
Chesapeake. Call your friends.
There's no such thing as an ethical bartender, but there may be an ethical blogger.
As long as they can pour and they can
Exactly.
figure it out.
So, Skylar, if you don't mind, could you do me a favor? Can you grab those reviews that are written up there on the counter up there? By the
We
bar?
have some. So we
I
do
have a
read
couple
bad
reviews.
reviews.
So
occasionally.
here's the thing. I always read bad reviews, but I'm going to read a review without looking at it to determine if it's bad or legitimate. Because there are some legitimate reviews out there. And there are some ones we got to look at and say, oh, shit, and you got to bite the bullet and go, yeah, they might be right.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it all starts at the door, like
Yeah.
I said. And I'll tear those fuckers up because they just don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or they're in a place that they don't belong in, or they don't understand it yet. And
They're not as good at the dining part.
so it really becomes an issue when people are in a place they don't understand. That's where it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about here.
Well,
So
I think we've seen, I mean, again, you have to have life experience to gain life experience.
ma'am.
Right.
So we never, you don't discriminate about anybody trying to broaden their horizons when it comes to
course.
food. They may not understand your culture and they may say something stupid or because they're not
A lot of
educated.
times. It's
So
funny.
you make a choice.
Yeah,
Make a
absolutely.
hard choice. I'm going to educate you or I'm just going to put you in a hole because you deserve it. So we
There are
go
people
back
that
and
definitely
we
deserve
walk a fine line on this.
Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, it's your business, and
Yeah.
it's something you built up from the ground, and it's like, who are you to say anything about it in the first place? But it's
Yeah.
also that goes with the entitlement of being online, being behind your phone, and basically bullying whoever you want because you think nothing's gonna happen behind
Keyboard
it. And you
warriors
think
that- yeah.
Half the time, no one's gonna, you're not gonna respond to them. That's what they would think.
They
but
think
that's
that.
the
They
thing. But
think,
they think that the customer is always right. And I don't know where that nonsense came from unless you were selling cars. I mean, it doesn't work out so much in this restaurant. Some of the best chefs in the world are known for throwing out celebrities out of their restaurant. I have literally thrown people out of my restaurant. I don't give a shit. I will throw
Literally.
your ass out. You disrespect to a level of not coming back, I'll be very tolerant. But when you start getting so disrespectful in front of everybody, I'm going to make a fool out of you in front of everybody. You know what I mean? You're not going to do it.
It's fun.
So here we go, Jared. This is Jared. No last name, no nothing. This is Jared. Jared, if you're watching, we're touching base on your fucking misery. Not very good. That's his title. Not very good.
All right,
Eh.
great subject.
On a level of good to not good, not very good. Restaurant is beautiful, but service is not great. Okay? I can see that. Like I said, happens at the door. So something happened. Somebody
From point
touched
A
this
to point
person.
B, yeah.
Somebody touched Jared the wrong way. We were not in a hurry, but 3 hours for dinner was too long. What part of the white tablecloths and 7 steps of service before you even get your appetizer did you not realize was happening?
It's
when
going to
you
be at
walked in
least
this
2
place?
hours, yes.
Yes. So
You
3
weren't
hours.
sick.
I'll tell you one
Yeah.
thing. We run our reservations every night on a 2.5 hour window. So you weren't here for 3 hours, Jared. Okay, so stop. Go back to Jared and get your diamonds. Let's see. Appetizers were not served all together with one appetizer completely forgotten. Can't comment on that. That might happen. Waiter might have forgotten a comment.
Server may have forgot.
Guy
Yes.
could be. Jared might have something there. However, the appetizers come out as they're kind of made. That's the Italian style. That's how we do it. And when you're working with fine dining, we don't have time to wait. So if you order a carpaccio, which is a cold dish, and you order something hot that takes more time, we're going to give you your carpaccio, and then that's going to give you something while you're waiting for your appetizer. It's all quarterbacked right so you can have your steps of service play through. So if you don't understand that type of dining, then you're probably not going to understand it here.
No.
When you go to Applebee's and ask for your smothered cheese fries and your potato skins, you get them both at the same time, and that's pretty much 6 minutes before your overcooked steak just came out on the floor. So, no disrespect, but let's talk real. We're talking real.
It's a fact.
Appetizers are not served all at once altogether. Entrees were not served all together either. Don't know how that worked out. I think that's a little far-fetched. If not, one came after the other, depending on who was running the food. But that wasn't long enough. Entrees were not served all together. We got that. Food was good, but my steak was room temperature with the gorgonzola sauce congealed on top. No.
That's the filet.
No, not buying it. Not for 3 hours. Not, if you were here for 3 hours, it didn't take.
I mean, if you let it sit there, yeah.
No, I mean the point is the food comes off the grill. It comes to the table, or it comes off the saute.
doesn't- you don't have room
It comes
for it
off
to
the line.
sit
We
there
don't
here.
have waiting
No.
food. We don't have a line. It doesn't
Constantly
happen.
runners everywhere. That's why.
Yeah,
Even when I was
food.
here.
So again, this is a prime example of I wish I could believe all of this. I do believe some of it. Entrees were not served all together either. That's possible. You could have got one, and then the other one could have came out right after, and they put them on the table with plenty of time for you not to be eating without the other person. It just could have been 2 food runners or something running at the same
Well,
time.
they only have 2 hands,
Expos.
and you guys don't stack plates here. It's not like
Absolutely
you put
not.
like
Yeah,
5
right.
plates up an
Yeah,
arm and
absolutely
take
Sure,
them to a table. They don't do that.
It's done proper and it's done in
Yeah.
sync, and the dining room works in its flow.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. We take a lot of pride at our expo. We have 4 people at our expo making sure that doesn't happen. So again, these are what I talk about when people make their friggin' reviews. a little thing happened and they escalate their review so bad. Now, the reduced gorgonzola cream sauce was congealed. It's not congealed. It's the it's high mountain gorgonzola from Italy. It's absolutely done to perfection, and it is slightly melted, so it just kind of is softened on top of your steak. What you're eating, my friend, is absolute solid blue cheesed
Real cheese.
gorgonzola. This is just, it's just been hit with a little bit of heat to make it a little bit viscous, a little bit softer. It wasn't meant to be a creamy sauce. But you obviously didn't know that. So you put it out there as if we don't know what we're doing. Too many slip-ups in service to be a fine dining restaurant. The Norfolk location is much better. Very disappointing. Okay, so Jared. Downtown Norfolk, I love that. That's my start. That's my baby. That's where I grew. That's where it is. However, it is a wine bar and a martini bar with a very eclectic, very good Italian menu. So basically, you're walking into a bar and having a great service of meal, okay? There's not 1 ounce step of service compared to this one other than great quality, good hospitality, great people serving you, and that's that.
Yeah.
Now, remove the rest of the experience from Norfolk and here away. That's the type of thing I'm dealing with when we deal with these reviews. So people want to go to a bar type of scene and eat and have a great meal. That's what they're used to. That's what they're comfortable. Jared, I'd love to listen to a lot of what you have to say here. I'm definitely going to take it in. You know what I mean? Maybe the food was a little bit more room temperature. Okay. That might have happened one time, but it doesn't happen enough for me to figure that out. That was something, and I don't know because I'm just looking at it. Now, what I'm getting at is here. It seems to me, Jared, if I were to read this whole thing at once, it seems like you have a lot to say, but really, honestly, you're talking about things that don't exist, and you don't understand what type of restaurant you're in. Before you go make food critics, before you make critiques, before you make blogs, before you make things, understand where you are. Read the room. Yeah. Understand the experience you're walking into. Everything you said is right on line of what we provide. You're upset that it took close to 3 hours. We pride ourselves that it takes about 3 hours. So what do you don't understand that? That's exactly what we look for. It's a different style of dining. We have steps of service. We use crummers. Each service between water bottle service all the way through takes minutes, not seconds, you know?
Yeah.
These minutes all add up. So, that's what we talk about when I talk about responding. I'm not going to go full ham on him because he did have some valid points in his mind and his perception. He wasn't that rude here. You know what I'm saying?
But also, they don't understand that if you said some of these things in person, it would
right
probably
away.
get rectified
Sure,
right
absolutely.
away, and then you would have a better experience the next time you came. But to sit and wait just means that you're
Some
petty.
people can't do it.
So here's one line I didn't read for some reason. Our server was not very good, very inattentive, as we were ignored for long periods of time. So if you're used to someone coming up and, hi, how are you?
30 seconds.
I'm Joey. I'm here for you. Da, da, da. If you're used to that, then you're right. In this type of dining, the wait staff comes up. We watch you from afar. We have service assistants on the floor watching your table, and we don't come up to you and bother you. We don't interrupt your conversation. When we see you need something, or if that step of service is needed or required, we will come to you. So if you're used to somebody always filling up your soda, needing more water, you want more bread, you need this, you need that, we don't typically work that way here. So again, read the room, read where you're at, understand where you're at. The person he's talking about here, one of the servers he's talking about, happens to be one of our best servers here. And if you read the rest of the reviews, when they're all raving about the same people, maybe you don't understand what's going on.
The best part about that, though, is if you are there filling up the water every 30 seconds, then they're going to be annoyed that they were bothered and their conversation was interrupted.
Sure.
So there's a different, when you go out for finer dining, it is different. Like there's
you want to have a conversation with the people that you came with?
you
or
want to talk through the whole meal without being interrupted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, that's the point of having like that 3 hour sit down.
Yes.
Is just enjoying your time with that person that you wanted to come here with.
And more of a, again, European, Middle East, that's more cultural. Like you sit down for longer meals. In America, we've just gotten so accustomed to turn and burn.
Yeah.
Like here, throw your plates out, get your ass out. Like I got a movie to make, I got a show to be at.
Yeah.
Everybody's in such a rush. They don't actually enjoy dining,
Right. This is
which
not
is
a
an
turn
experience. It's
lost
supposed
now.
to be.
It's really lost because everything's like, all right, how fast can we get in and out? How fast is our food going to come? I've done it before. I'm like, all right, I need a quick meal. Let me go here. Let me go there. But
And here's another life tip for you, Jared, and anyone else. If you're sitting across the table from somebody at a place like this, and you're realizing that 3 hours is too long, you're sitting across the table from the wrong person, sir. So why don't you find somebody that makes 3 hours go by like this
Hopefully it's not
and
as
stop
long.
blaming that shit on me? Okay? How's that sound?
It's not
You
our
like that?
fault you didn't get
That's
laid
good.
that night,
All right,
Jared.
how
I'm
about
sorry.
you log that?
It's not
pal?
our fault. Well, that's
not
and I
our
guess
fault.
for wrapping up on the social media side, you obviously get feedback, but it's right there in the comment under the video. So are you? I know it's probably evolved more of a responsive, try and rectify, or are you more of just a delete, block, goodbye?
As of recently, I've seen more, and I find it funny. It's just like it'll always be about appearance. It'll never be about the food or anything else. It'll be like, obese man loves food. Go figure. I'm like, that's actually really funny, but I'm gonna have to block you for that one.
Oh my
but
gosh.
I'm not a negative person, so I don't rip into it unless it's in person. But you're really just behind the phone.
You just kind of let it go.
Yeah, that's whatever. At the end of the day, like,
Yeah.
you're not going to bother me by this. It's funny. I'm going to laugh at it for a little bit, and then it's just like, whatever. I don't really care about it. But that's been happening more often than not.
Okay. Well, it's because I mean,
I already
people
got him
are
giggling about it.
they're knowing who you are now.
Yeah, I mean, like,
so
I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, like, you're just behind your phone. You're
people
not
say
gonna
some
And
shit.
not only that, but the
Yeah.
more traction you get and the better you get at it, you're going to have a lot more people saying shit about you because
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, those people wish they could have, want to, or don't know how to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pissed at you because you make it look easy. And that's really what I think. I mean, really,
and
who
it's
cares?
not easy. You put a ton of time and effort
It's
into
not
it.
at all. You
Yeah.
sit there and you, like, just kind of figure out the words and, like, what you want to say. And it might take a couple takes, but,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of time that goes into it. And that's why I appreciate something like this. Like,
Sure.
you guys have put a lot of time and effort into this, and it's showing and it's growing from that.
Right on. We'll take our time with this. This podcast is, like I said, the podcast is directed around food, hospitality, restaurants, cooking, assholes named Jared, things like that, you know, and people, you know, we just got to take everything that comes with it. If I were to sit here and read, everybody would be bored if I sat here and read the great reviews every day. Nobody wants to hear the great
People
reviews.
we like drama.
We
We
love
like
the
to watch
drama.
a
Yeah,
train
We love
wreck.
the bullshit.
Yeah.
The
It's
dumpster's
fine.
on fire. Let's throw some
It's
gas on
fine.
it.
I mean,
I
it's
don't care,
entertaining.
but-
Yeah.
What is your one last question for you? What is your favorite? What do you like to eat? What drives you the most? What food do you like to cook, eat? What if you had it? What you think? I'm gonna go eat something I really love. What is it gonna be?
It has to be Italian food.
Hey.
I love gnocchi.
Hey,
I
what?
love
Check,
just,
please.
I just love just like the process with it. Like, I fell in love with the gnocchi at a young age. I mean, you can tell I kind of developed
Oh, yeah.
by eating a lot. But man, just like how everything's cooked. I had a best friend, and his mom she was Italian, straight from Sardinia, I think.
Oh, the
And
best,
she
yeah.
would just cook for us all the time. Like, what is this? And like, I enjoyed it. But other than that, it's probably gonna be Mediterranean food. I'm just saying.
Mediterranean's
Yeah.
phenomenal. Italian for me growing up all my life. That's how we do it. That's how we rock. Good answer.
All right. So
we got these
you
shirts.
Got us your shirts,
Look at
which
this.
you
Official
have, which
eaters
say
now.
eater
These are-
on
And
it.
that's a
so it's
Carhartt,
cool.
bro. That's fucking
These are
money
good
right here.
quality.
These are nice
Nice
shirts.
quality
Carhartts
embroidery
are freaking
eater.
amazing.
What's up,
So
eater?
for-
Eater gonna eat?
Yeah. For real eaters, thick eats. So we got
Thick eats,
these,
I love
which
it.
is
I love it,
awesome.
bro. Thank you so much.
This is so cool. So
course.
yeah, tell
Thank you so
everybody
much.
where they can find you, where they can support you.
Absolutely. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and it's all Thick Eats, just one word. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Thick Eats. Follow them. Check them out.
love it.
Thanks for watching our show. Thanks for following along with us. Thanks for all the support. We love doing what we do. Kristen,
Yes.
is that right or wrong?
That's right.
That's it.
So
We're on
right.
it. So
Fun time.
hit
We're ready to
subscribe
eat.
for
We're
us.
ready to eat now,
Share this
so
page.
it's time to eat.
We're gonna go
wrapping it
eat
up.
thickly. Actually, we're hopefully gonna take it to lunch with us. So
Yeah.
let's do this thing.
Get
Ciao
thick.
for now. Thank y'all.
Bye.